We'll be going next to Romania and also to South Africa. And for those who love the theater of the absurd or the concert of the silly, do we have something for you? We're talking about art here.
We built this business to help.
Hello, I'm Paul Phillips, founder and conductor of the St. Luke's Bottle Band. What you have just seen is a portion of the NBC Nightly News for May 26, 1990. That was the day the St. Luke's Bottle Band was introduced to the entire United States of America. We thought we would begin the tape of this year's show with a quick look at how NBC put this telecast together. It actually all began in June of 1986 when the Chicago Tribune printed this article about the Bottle Band written by Eric Zorn. Barbara Bohush, a producer at NBC, read the article and thought about someday doing a news story on the Bottle Band. She cut the article out of the paper and put it in her files for future reference. It was not until 4 years later, however, that she was able to produce her story. Barbara brought a camera crew to St. Luke's on May 11, 1990, to tape the opening night performance.
It's better except for...
How's that again?
At the bottom.
The crew also set up their equipment in the choir room, where Barbara interviewed me along with Kyle Cartwright and David Sherwin. Andrew Cartwright volunteered to be a stand-in while the crew set up their cameras, lights, and microphones. Bob Bishop, who videotapes all of our Bottle Band concerts, also recorded these interviews.
But you can also plug it like that. You can also tap it, nail it to the sound.
You know what, I can just hold it because it's not, you know, these are going to be short ones. Okay.
Of course, Carson and David Letterman are stepping stones, but I think that the third world and behind what used to be the Iron Curtain, I think needs to experience us. I think the entire free world needs to experience us.
What is your personal philosophy of music?
I don't have a philosophy. I feel that as soon as you start thinking, it gets in the way of the music.
I tell you what, could you scoot forward just a hair?
What's that?
Hair more. Bigger hair.
Half a foot.
Have you been surprised by the community reaction or the community support that this gets? I mean,
I was at first. I couldn't imagine it. I actually heard about it before I got here. My immediate predecessor actually lived in the same city I came from, in Seattle, and she had warned me about the Bottle Band. And I had no idea of the scope. And when I got here, I was very surprised at first. But then after seeing a show and participating in a show and seeing the genius of Paul Phillips, I was not at all surprised. I would call it a comedy group. The whole evening is really a musical comedy experience. And I think that's an important ministry. I think it's wonderful that it takes place here in our church and that it's a part of our congregation at St. Luke's, because the art of laughter is a great healer. And so it's just marvelous that it takes place here.
Even though the church doesn't officially sanction it.
That's right. But we do.
We just don't admit it.
That's right.
During their performance, Barbara and her crew discreetly moved around the gym, recording portions of our show. The crew returned on Thursday, May 17th, to get additional shots, and finally, on Saturday, May 26th, this is what the viewers of the NBC Nightly News saw.
And finally this evening, something absurd. Possibly funny, definitely silly, but above all, absurd. Dan Molina found it in Chicago Soap. We'll let him explain it.
This might look something like a real graduation ceremony, but the caps and gowns are just part of the gag. These bogus graduates are actually the members of the St. Luke's Bottle Band School of Music. They're connoisseurs of the absurd and proud of it. They've been doing this for 11 years, and clearly they've refined the old trick of making bottle music into an art of sorts. 25 band members, 5 bottles to a player, with different amounts of water in each one. Paul Phillips is conductor, composer, choreographer, and all-around bottle washer.
People hear bottle band, they think of something kind of stupid and silly, but the bottle is really a very sophisticated musical instrument. First of all, you can blow on it, of course, to get a sound, but you can also pluck it like that, and you can also tap it with a mallet to get a sound.
Kyle Cartwright, the band's lead kazooist. How did she rise to this lofty position?
The lead kazooist moved. I feel that I'm quite deserving of the lead kazoo position and plan to die being lead kazooist.
This is the precise chore of bottle tuning.
Evaporation is a problem. Drooling is a problem, too, because when the players do play, of course, they salivate, and if the piece gets very exciting, then they can drool and the pitch can change.
All the merrymakers are also members of the church choir at St. Luke's. This is a once-a-year fling. Their inspiration comes from Psalm 33. Play skillfully with a loud noise. Dan Molina, NBC News, Chicago.
Words fail us.
Words may have failed Garrick Utley, but they did not fail the relatives of Doris Phillips.
Right after the show ended, immediately the phone rang. And the first call was from my sister Lenore, North Fort Myers, Florida. I saw it. She was so excited about seeing the bottle band, and that was just tremendous. We hung up with that one. Got a call from Omaha, Nebraska. My sister-in-law, Myrtle Christel. Wait, I just couldn't believe we saw you all on television. Then we hung up with that one. I got a call from St. Louis, Missouri. Mary Jane Gwynn called. Same story. We just happened to get the bottle band and really excited. So it was such a wonderful night. I can't tell you how excited I was. I felt like I was in cloud nine, that we had finally hit big time stuff.
I also received a phone call from Erdine Falsey of Tucson, Arizona. Erdine would like to start a bottle band in her retirement village, so I'm going to send her a copy of our instructional video entitled How to Start Your Own Bottle Band. You too can receive this exciting video, which gives detailed information on starting your own bottle band using only 2 six-packs and 4 jugs. Call now while the supply lasts. Bottles not included, of course. All of us in the bottle band were thrilled about appearing on national television, and we want to thank Barbara Bohush and all the people at NBC who worked on this story. And to Garrick Utley, well, we want to thank him too. But we also think that he should experience the bottle band in a more direct way. So we're going to invite him to appear as a guest soloist with the bottle band next year. We're not sure what he'll do yet, but it will definitely be silly, possibly funny, and above all, absurd. I'm Paul Phillips.
I'm Garrick Utley. Good night for NBC News.
Peter Hellstedt. I want to say welcome on behalf of everybody. We're happy to have you here. There's a lot of excitement. You know, it's a big evening in Chicagoland for musical people. In the fall, the opening of the Lyric Opera at the Lyric Opera House in Wacker Drive. And of course, in the spring, a big event for everybody. Opening day at Wrigley Field, the friendly confines when the Cubs come to their own home park. Well, it just can't be compared, let me tell you, either of those with opening night at the St. Luke's Gym for the Bottle Band. It's very nice of you folks to give that round of applause, but I have to let you know and remind you, many of you folks are here to see the Bottle Band for the first time. They're very sensitive artists. And I think we want to make sure that they know that they're going to get a warm welcome. So let's just try that one more time. More like it. Good. More like it. We have special guests here tonight, folks from NBC. And you're going to get 2 for your money. You're going to see the Bottle Band tonight, and you're going to see them on television. Next weekend, not this weekend, there's been a change in plans, but next weekend, either Saturday or Sunday on the NBC Evening News. Check your local listings. Good to have these folks here. Well, without any further ado, I give you the St. Luke's Bottle Band. Here they are.
Of the St. Luke's Bottle Band School of Music. Please welcome now the class of 1990. Thank you, and good evening once again. Welcome to the annual spring concert of the St. Luke's Bottle Band, which this year is entitled the Class of 90. As you can see, the Class of 90 is a rather small one. And for this reason, the faculty and administration have decided to combine the graduation exercises with the bottle band concerts. So tonight's program will have some aspects of a graduation ceremony to it. I would like now to introduce to you the president of the class of 90, Mr. Craig Moen. At this time, we will present Craig with his diploma. And so now I would like to introduce the Dean of Students here at the School of Music. Please welcome Professor David M. Cherwin.
Good evening, everyone. Professor Phillips. This is the time of year when deans all across the country are handing out diplomas to the graduates of their institutions. I would imagine that many of these deans, especially the ones at the larger institutions, do not really know most of the graduates that they are honoring. That is not the case with me, however. I have been able to get to know our class of 90 very well, and I can tell you honestly that I'm very proud of all that he has accomplished. This has not been an easy year for our first graduate. Greg was on academic probation this fall, and his scholarship was in danger of being revoked. But because of his tremendous dedication and perseverance, Craig Moen stands here tonight as the valedictorian of his class. It is my privilege to present you with this diploma which certifies that you have attained the degree of Bachelor of Bottle Sciences. Congratulations.
I would like to mention that in addition to being the class president and the valedictorian, Craig was also voted the most likely to succeed. So we're very proud of all the honors he has accumulated. Well, the first work on the program tonight is a piece called The Farmer's Suite. It's written by Robert Schumann. Some of you may be familiar with a piece that he wrote for the piano called The Happy Farmer or The Merry Farmer. Not many people, however, know that there were actually 4 pieces in this group, all having to do with farmers. In addition to the Merry Farmer, there is also the Angry Farmer, the Moody Farmer, and the Silly Farmer. So we're going to do all 4 of them tonight for you. The soloist for tonight, who I'd like to introduce to you now, on kazoo, of course, is none other than the very lovely and talented Betty Sulu Fleming. Ms. Fleming is a professor of kazooology at the School of Music, and she also serves as the head coach of the wrestling team. Well, here we go now then with the Farmer's Suite, the Merry Farmer, the Angry Farmer, the Moody Farmer, and the Silly Farmer. I know that most of you are probably sophisticated concert goers. You know that you're not supposed to applaud between the movements of a suite, but in this case we ask that you do so. Thank you. In planning tonight's program, I thought it would be a good idea to feature each of the various departments of the Bottle Band School of Music so that you can kind of get an idea of the cross-section of the kind of music that we play and study at the school. The first piece, of course, featured the kazoo department, and now we're going to feature the bottlephone department. The bottlephone is the instrument, it's actually the instrument on the middle row of tables up there. It sounds something like a xylophone, and it looks something like a bar. It's played very much like a handbell choir would play. Each person has a few particular notes that they play. And in addition to the bottlephone, which is featured in this next piece, the piece, by the way, is the Skater's Waltz, and there are a couple of very prominent sections for the bottlephone. That's why we've chosen it. In addition to that, however, we also have the violin, and I'd like to introduce to you now the principal violinist of the Bottle Band, Miss Judy Yehudi. And of course, on the kazoo will be Betty Sue Lou Fleming. Here we go now then with the Skater's Waltz. 1987, I was privileged to be able to work on a project down at the Chicago Public Library, cataloging all of the music that was left in the basement of the Chicago Theater when it closed down in the mid-50s. You may remember before the theater was a movie theater as it is today, it was the site of live entertainment during the 20s and 30s and 40s. They had a wonderful orchestra, lots of arrangers and original music. And all the music that they collected was kept in the library, and they stored it in the basement when the theater closed, and it was almost thrown away. But fortunately, the Chicago Public Library saved it, and they have now cataloged it, and it is available to the public. There's some truly great songs in the collection. Pieces like When Veronica Played the Harmonica, a song about dog lovers called I'm Nuts About Mutts. And my personal favorite is a song that was written right after the outbreak of World War II. It's called If He Can Fight Like He Can Love, Good Night, Germany. We won't be doing that one here tonight. But the next selection is from the collection at the library. The title of it is Put the Swanee Up in Bottles and Send It Up to Me. Now I know it sounds like a piece that was written for the bottle band, but it really was not. It was written back in the 30s. It's an actual song. It's a charming little piece about a man who's thinking back to his boyhood days when he lived in the South. And in order to remember those wonderful times, he says, put the Swanee up in great big bottles and send it up to me. So we thought it was a perfect song for the bottle band. And I'd like to introduce to you now the soloists for this work. Please welcome our three professors, Gary Cartwright, David Sherwin, and Bert Olson. These three gentlemen are all professors in the plucking department. Plucking, of course, is the technique of putting your finger in the bottle and pulling it out at the precise instant to create the appropriate sound. This piece is actually scored for a vocal trio, so they're going to sing the first stanza, and then they're going to pluck the second stanza. Part up. So here we go now with Put the Swanee Up in Bottles and Send It Up to Me.
Put the Swanee up in bottles and just send it up to me. How my eyes will glisten when I sit and listen to Swanee ripples flow. Put my name and address on it and just mark it C.O.D. What a load of honey from the heavens sunny, the land I used to know. My I send it up to me. Put the Swanee River up in great big bottles and send it up to me.
Thank you very much. In addition to studying performance on the bottle, the students at the Bottle Band School of Music also have to take classes in music theory and music history. We have a very excellent music history department headed by Dr. Joyce Robinson. Dr. Robinson is a specialist in early bottle music. She has done a lot of work researching the life of Beethoven, in fact, and it is her belief that Beethoven and several of his friends had their own bottle band. Not many people knew about this. They would meet mostly on weekends in Ludwig's basement. And she has documented all this in her latest book, which is entitled Beethoven's Other Fifth. This will be available at the Bottle Band bookstore shortly. In addition to studying Beethoven, she has also done some research on the life of Johann Sebastian Bach. And this next piece is a discovery of hers. You may think that it's a misprint in the program. The title actually, though, is Minuet in G. Let me explain a little bit about the difference between a minuet and a minuet. A minuet is an edited version of a minuet. It's kind of like a cigarette is a small cigar, or a kitchenette is a small kitchen, or a sextet is a... well, anyway, you know what I mean. And it is Dr. Robinson's belief that Bach actually wrote this piece in the form of a minuet, and then at some point either he or someone else edited it down into the form of a minuet. So tonight we're going to play the complete version. For those of you that are not familiar with the piece, so you can understand what's what, Judy Yehudi will play the notes that you know of as the minuet in G on the violin. And I will play the passages that are in the minuet that were cut out at some point to make the minuet. I will play those on the trombone. Thank you. So here now we go with Bach's Minuet in G, which incidentally we will be doing in the key of F because it's easier for me to play that way. Thank you very much. I am very excited to tell you that once again the Bottle Band will be performing at Ravinia this year. The date is December 22nd. So it'll be kind of a Christmas program. We recommend bringing a fondue, both for the food and also for warmth. Also, the Bottle Band is available to play for weddings. The advantage, of course, to hiring us is that we will provide for all your musical needs for the day. You won't have to bother with an organist and a soloist and then a band at the reception. We will do everything in one package deal. We have quite a wide repertoire of pieces. For the ceremony, of course, we know the Wagner Wedding Procession, the Bridal Chorus. We also know Bottle Voluntary, however. At the reception, we have a wide variety of pieces to play for dancing. And of course, we know the standards. We've only just begun, Feelings, and the Hokey Pokey. Is anybody here planning to be married in the near future? Or know somebody? Someone over here? When is the date? 91. Oh, do you know the month? July? July of 91? You don't know the exact date? The 20th of July, 1991. Yeah. Mind giving him a card, please? Do speak to us after the show. Well, our next piece is one that we call Classical Glass. It's actually a medley of tunes. There are 5 of them in the piece. It begins with the opening theme from Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto No. 1. And then it goes into a brief section from Ponchielli's Dance of the Hours, which many of you may know as Alan Sherman's Hello Mata, Hello Fata, Here I Am at Camp Granada. Then there is an excerpt from Hernando's Hideaway, the tango from the musical. A very brief excerpt from Verdi's Anvil Chorus, in which we don't use animals but bottles instead. And finally, we end up with the Can-Can by Jacques Offenbach. It's quite an interesting piece. As I said, it's scored for many different bottles. What's unique about this type of piece is that it uses bottles only. All the other pieces you will hear tonight have a violin or a vocalist doing the melody. This piece is only for bottles, so we're very proud of it for that reason. We use the bottle phone, pluckers, and of course the blowers. Here then is Classical Glass. Oh, thank you very much. It's quite a workout. We do have to give the bottle players a little rest now. We can't play bottles for too long a time, otherwise we tend to hyperventilate. And we've lost enough brain cells as it is. So we're going to go back into our graduation mode, so to speak. And at this time, I would like to introduce again Craig Moan, who will deliver the valedictory address. Craig?
Professor Phillips, Dean Sherwin, distinguished faculty, honored guests. It is with a deep sense of accomplishment that I stand before you tonight, not merely as a graduate of SLVBSOM, but more importantly as a human being who is poised on the threshold of opportunity, gazing out into that vast, unknown region we call the future. As I ponder the responsibilities that I must now face after my graduation, I am confident that my educational experiences have prepared me for the next phase of my journey through life. Although I am sad when I realize that my days here at school have come to an end, I know that I will keep in my head and in my heart the fond memories of lessons learned. As I look back on my academic career, it seems like only yesterday that I was beginning my first class here at SLVBSOM. My musical horizons were actually very limited at that time, but the insights and knowledge which I have since acquired have given me a new appreciation not only of modern music, but also a new appreciation of life itself. Yes, while I've been a student here, I have grown not only as a musician, but also as a person. Now, I know there are some people who doubt whether the study of bottle music has much value, especially as we head into the increasingly technical complexities of the 21st century. But I stand firm in my belief that the proliferation of bottle music on our planet will most certainly strengthen world peace, boost our sagging economy, and most importantly, provide a positive image for the young people of our nation who so desperately need moral guidance in these times of struggle and strife. In conclusion, then, I challenge all of you on the faculty to maintain the high standards you set in your dedication to excellence, your quest for perfection, and your thirst for new instruments to empty. But the challenge is also mine, for now I must strive to meet the expectations which you have placed upon me. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. In addition to being the class president, valedictorian, etc., Craig is also the president and founder of a group known as the Friends of the Bottle Band. Well, actually, he's still the only member, so it's technically the Friend of the Bottle Band. And every year that group sponsors a contest during intermission to provide a little fun for you when you're downstairs. And we're going to do that again this year, and so I'd like to have Craig come back now with the bottle, which he will explain how it will work as far as guessing the number of items inside of it. Craig?
Yes, we have a contest again for you this year. Your goal is to guess the number of pieces of candy in this giant Coke bottle. In your program tonight, you'll find a special ballot, which you should fill out with your name and your guess, and drop it in the ballot box down in Fox Hall during the intermission. This bottle will be down there too during intermission so that you can have a closer look at it. If you are our winner tonight, you will receive 3 fabulous prizes. I will announce the winner during the second half of tonight's performance. Thank you.
Most of the members of the Bottle Band, in addition to being on the faculty of the School of Music, do teach privately in their homes. If anyone would like to take private lessons, please speak to them after the show. We feel it's very important to start young people out early on the bottle, playing the bottle. the church. I know a lot of parents are reluctant to spend money for a violin or a trumpet, but for the cost of a six-pack, you can get your child going in music. And this next group is an example of that. This is called the St. Luke's Youth Bottle Band. These children have been studying since, I think September. Many of their parents have been asking me, well, when is the first concert? When can we hear them play? I'm happy to announce that tonight, of course, is the first night, the debut. So would you please welcome the St. Luke's Lutheran Church Youth Bottle Band. Children, and some of them cannot read music yet, so we utilize the Think system of playing, which some of you may know is a system developed by Professor Harold Hill. And we're going to be playing a piece that he is well known for conducting, the Minuet in G. So here we go now, the St. Luke's Youth Bottle Band, the Minuet in G by Beethoven. Think, people, think. Thank you very much. We have one special occasion tonight we'd like to recognize. It happens to be the birthday of our violinist, Kirsten Forsythe. So, I thought it would be nice if we would all sing to her happy birthday in kind of the same way she played the violin. 1, 2, happy birthday. Well, before we do the last work on the first half of the program, I would like to invite you all to go downstairs at intermission. There will be refreshments served down there. Please enjoy yourselves, take your time. We have some rehearsing to do for the second act, so no need to hurry back. We do ask one thing, that you not bring anything back with you when you come up for the second act, if you choose to do so. Well, the last piece on the first half of the program is the school fight song, Hail to SLVBSOM. Many music schools, of course, do not bother with athletic programs, but we feel it's important to combine sports and music, and we use this song at all of our sporting events. We have a group that performed with this song, a kind of a combination cheerleader pom-pom squad, and we thought it would be nice if they would come out tonight and perform it for you. So, would you please welcome the Bottle Band School of Music, Bottlettes. These girls are all freshmen this year. And it looks like they're going to be freshmen next year as well. Well, at any rate, here we go now with Hail to SLVBSOM. Thank you very much. Last year, the administration decided to begin a foreign studies program at the School of Music. We thought it would be a good idea for two reasons. One, we wanted to bring students from other countries into our school so that our American students could get used to other cultures, other people. And also, we thought it would be nice to establish friendships with people from other countries so that if we ever travel abroad, we can have a place to stay for free. So tonight we're going to have some of the people that we have had from other countries. There's a particular group this year. They're all from Sweden. They happen to all reside in the same town, and they have done some musical work together as a quartet. And they have been here all year in this kind of a foreign exchange program. So please give a warm welcome now to the Daughters of Sweden. Swedish flag. And the number that these ladies are going to do is called Hälsa dem där hemma. It's a Swedish song, and they will be singing it, of course, in Swedish. Since probably most of you do not understand Swedish, we thought we would provide a translation on the first chorus, so you have some idea what the song is all about. Here then are the Daughters of Sweden in Hälsa dem där hemma. Thank you very much. There are several outstanding musical groups at St. Luke's Church besides the Bottle Band. We have a number of excellent choirs and several handbell choirs and a number of outstanding instrumentalists. And one of those instrumentalists is Mr. Edgar Munzer, who is a violinist with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Mr. Munzer is also the violinist in residence at the Bottle Band School of Music, and we wanted him to be a part of tonight's program Unfortunately, his schedule with the Chicago Symphony conflicts with the Bottle Band concert schedule, and he could not attend all of the concerts in person. So what we have done instead is have him videotape his solo part, and we're going to play that now and accompany him on the bottles. The piece we're going to play is called The Hot Canary. It's a piece that in which the composer asks the violinist to kind of mimic the sound of a canary on the violin. This piece was one of several that Mr. Munzer played recently at a faculty recital, which included several pieces that were for the birds, about birds, I'm sorry. He did, in addition to the Hot Canary, he did The Swan, His Eyes on the Sparrow, and Turkey in the Straw. So tonight, I can get my remote control going here. Please welcome now our guest soloist for this piece, Mr. Edgar Munzer.
A, please.
Maestro. Obviously, Mr. Munzer's Canary Cadenza is very realistic. It's also a little long for tonight. We're running kind of late, so we're just going to have to fast forward him a little bit here. Okay, that should do it.
I said earlier, Mr. Munzer's schedule conflicted with the bottle band schedule, but he was able to be here tonight. And so we are going to give him the award that the School of Music voted to give him this year. It is the Eunice Pork and Beans Distinguished Service Award. Eunice Pork and Beans, you may remember, was our principal violinist for many years. She moved back to Seattle in 1985. And we have created this award, especially this year, and we'd like to award it to Mr. Munzer at this time. Edgar, would you come forward? I don't know, it's like $1.29. It says the St. Luke's Bottle Band presents Edgar Munzer the Eunice Pork and Beans Distinguished Performance Award for his outstanding contribution to Pilots of 90, May 11, 1990. Edgar, thank you. We come now to the announcement of the winner of our contest, the guessing the number of pieces of candy in the bottle contest. So, Craig, I would like to reintroduce you, and if you could make the momentous announcement.
There were 623 pieces of candy in the bottle tonight. No one guessed the 623 exactly, but one person was only one off, guessed 622. So I'd like Ruth Troutman to come forward. Tell the audience where you're from.
Park Ridge.
And what church do you go to?
Oh, St. Luke's.
Have you ever been to a bottle band concert before?
Many.
Good. Well, you finally won something. Now, our guesses tonight were all over the place, from like 150 up to 10,000. How did you happen to choose 622?
That's our address.
Oh, I see. Is that what you plan to play in the lottery too?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not generally lucky.
Well, you're lucky tonight. Oh, how lucky you are. The first prize that we have for you, Ruth, you may remember back in 1964, St. Luke's observed the 50th anniversary of its founding. This handsome commemorative plate was created for that occasion, and we still have several hundred of them left over. So, Ruth, for your china cabinet, this handsome commemorative plate. And, Ruth, that's not all. For your next prize, last year, St. Luke's observed the 75th anniversary of its founding. And we still have a few shirts left over, so you get one of these t-shirts. And finally, Ruth, and best of all, as you realize, this is the first graduation ceremony for the St. Luke's Bottle Band School of Music. And like most other institutions of higher learning, the Bottle Band School of Music wanted to award some worthy recipient an honorary degree. So, Ruth, tonight we're awarding you an honorary Doctor of Bottleology degree. the St. Luke's Bottle Band School of Music, upon the recommendation of the faculty and administration, does hereby confer upon Ruth Troutman the degree of Doctor of Bottleology, together with all the rights, privileges, and honors which appertain thereto. In witness whereof, the President and Dean of Students have hereunto set their hands and affixed the official seal of the Bottle Band, dated May 17, 1990, signed by Paul Phillips, President of the school, and by David Sherwin, the Dean of Students. And here's the official seal of the Bottle Band. The motto is E Musicus Voidum, which translates loosely as music out of empties. So congratulations, Dr. Troutman. Before you go, Dr. Troutman, we have to take your picture. Thank you, Dr. Troutman.
Thank you very much. It's always very exciting. Well, a couple of announcements before we get to the last work on the program. The Bottle Band will be having summer sessions, summer school at the School of Music, if any of you are interested in this. The summer courses are not like the other ones. They're devoted mostly to the preparation of new instruments. So they tend to be rather casual. We meet in Professor Olson's basement, and there's no fixed time schedule or anything like that. But do see me after the program. Also, I would like to thank you all for coming tonight and welcome you to come back again next year. We hope you've enjoyed it. And how about a special round of applause for the NBC crew here? Appreciate all of their hard work. The last work on the program is the mini musical, as we were calling it, Snow White and the Seven Bottles Meet the Phantom of the Opera. Now, a little word about how this piece came to be. This is the senior project of Craig Mullen. All graduating seniors have to demonstrate their competence by producing a work of some sort. How he came to do this, he had gone to see the musical Into the Woods, which some of you may know about. It's a play which combines several fairy tales into one, and the characters are all interwoven. So he got the idea of combining Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs with the Phantom of the Opera, because the Phantom is, of course, coming to Chicago very soon. He decided then, of course, to adapt it to the Bottle Band by changing the dwarf characters and making them bottles. And he also, in changing this around, most productions of the Phantom of the Opera, the Phantom is, of course, a man. But in our production, the Phantom character takes the place of the Wicked Queen. So in our play, the Phantom will be a woman, and she will be played, of course, by Betty Sue Lou Fleming. I think the other changes in the story you will be able to understand as it unfolds. Again, we thank you for coming. And here now is Snow White and the Seven Bottles Meet the Phantom of the Opera. We begin with the overture.
Once upon a time, somewhere in an enchanted forest, there lived a beautiful young woman named Snow White. Snow White had lived in this forest for a long time now, and frankly, she was beginning to get a little bored. So one day, she decided to compose one of those personal ads for the local newspaper. She wrote, SWF, That means Snow White female. 5 foot 5 inches tall, blue eyes, loves to sing, take long walks in the forest, and talk to animals. Seeks a rich, handsome prince for good times and possible serious relationship. Now, it wasn't as if Snow White didn't have any friends. She had 7 very good friends who she spent a lot of time with in the forest. It's just that these friends were not people, they were bottles. But they were not ordinary bottles. They were able to walk and talk just like all of the Walt Disney animals could. And each of the 7 bottles loved to sing. Very different, and each one had quite a distinct personality. Mrs. Butterworth always seemed to be happy, while the Blue Nun was usually grumpy. Perrier was a very bashful bottle. That's because she was recently found to be contaminated. While Mogan David always seemed to be sneezing.
Boy, baby, these allergies.
Mountain Dew was pretty dopey. But then there was Dr. Pepper, who was real smart. He was known as Doc. And of course, NyQuil was always very sleepy. Every morning, Snow White waved goodbye to the 7 bottles as they went off to work.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Hi-ho, 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 it's off to work we go. Hi-ho, hi-ho.
Snow White loved each of the 7 bottles dearly, but she had lived with them for many years now, and she was getting a little tired of hearing them sing hi-ho, day after day. So as soon as the bottles were gone, Snow White hurried off and put her personal ad in the forest newspaper. Now, there happened to be someone else that lived in the enchanted forest who was the exact opposite of Snow White. She was mean, she dressed in black, and she was definitely not beautiful.
That's you, honey.
Well, if I'm not the fairest, then who is?
A young lady by the name of Snow White.
When the Phantom heard this, she became angry and jealous. She wanted to be the fairest of them all instead of Snow White. Now the Phantom knew that if any harm came to the 7 bottles, Snow White would become very upset and probably cry all the time. And if Snow White was upset and crying all the time, then she couldn't possibly be the fairest of them all. So the Phantom decided to use her evil powers to put a curse on the 7 bottles and send them into a deep sleep.
The 7 bottles will soon be asleep. When Snow White finds them, she will start to weep. She will become depressed, of that I'm sure. The Phantom of the Opera will be fairer than
When the 7 bottles did not return from work that night, Snow White went out to look for them. She could not imagine why they had not come home. And just as the Phantom expected, Snow White was very upset when she found her bottle friends in such a strange condition.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Now, who's the fairest of them all?
It still ain't you, baby cake.
You mean that Snow White is still fairer than me?
Yeah.
When the Phantom heard this, she became even more angry.
Snow White is fairer than she was before, but it is clear that she must suffer more. The bottles thou must go, I make them fall. Then the Phantom of the Opera will be fairest of all.
This was the saddest moment in Snow White's life. She was very, very depressed. It looked like the Phantom was going to become fairer than Snow White. But remember, this is a fairy tale. And this often happens in fairy tales, just when everything seems so bleak, someone came along to help Snow White. It was Sergeant Moosehead of the Royal Canadian Line. But Snow White was so wrapped up in her own thoughts that she did not even notice him.
Someday my prince will come, then I won't feel so alone.
Oh, Snow White, God bless them here.
You're no prince, you're a fowl of fear. What can you do?
Moosehead may not have been a prince, but he was just what Snow White needed. He told Snow White he would bring her bottle friends back to life by taking them to the local recycling center. Meanwhile, the Phantom was very discouraged because her evil plan had been ruined by Sergeant Moosehead.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, won't I ever be the fairest of them all?
You?
Well, you anyway.
Snow White was very excited about seeing her 7 bottle friends again. She wondered if they would all be exactly like they were before. Well, Snow White found out that when bottles are recycled, they don't always get the same personality back again. Because of the recycling, now Perrier was sleepy, Mrs. Butterworth was always sneezing, Mountain Dew had become smart and was called Doc, NyQuil was always happy, Mogan David was bashful, Dr. Pepper was grumpy, and the Blue Nun was dopey. Even though the bottles were different than before, Snow White was very happy to see them again. And the 7 bottles were all happy to see her, too. And Moosehead was happy because he had made Snow White so happy. The only one who wasn't happy was the Phantom. That's why I can't end this fairy tale by saying that everyone lived happily ever after. But the Phantom was not all bad. She did want to become nicer. Just like Moosehead wanted to marry Snow White, and the 7 bottles wanted to move out of the forest and live in a condominium somewhere in the suburbs. And Snow White still wanted to marry a rich, handsome prince. But since no one responded to her ad, she decided that Sergeant Moosehead was good enough.
Someday all of my hair will grow back.
sit down so we can do the encore now. We're having a cast party, so we want to get out of here as fast as we can. We thought that since we're kind of in the Disney mode, we would play our traditional encore, which of course is the theme song from the Mickey Mouse Club. Thank you once again for being here. We really appreciate your enthusiastic support. And we finish our program now with the theme song from Mickey Mouse. See you real soon. Why? Because we like you. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.